Good morning, students. How are you all? Well, in the previous lecture, we discussed about sentence and its types. There are four types of sentences: declarative sentence, interrogative sentence, exclamatory sentence, and imperative sentence. And today we will talk about transformation of sentences. So, on the basis of transformation of sentences, the sentences are of three types. The first one is affirmative or positive, the second one is negative, and the third one is interrogative. So, how you can transform affirmative into negative or interrogative and vice versa is what we will discuss today. I have taken few examples of simple present tense here with different subjects. The first example is I go. The negative of I go is I don't go, and the interrogative form of the same is do I go. The next sentence is you go, you don't go, do you go. He goes, he doesn't go, does he go. She goes, she doesn't go, does she go. It goes, it doesn't go, does it go. We go, we don't go, do we go. You go, you don't go, do you go. They go, they don't go, do they go. So the middle three sentences have singular subject and the last three have plural subject. I and you can be taken as exception. And you know it very well how you can convert such sentences from positive to negative or interrogative. So let's discuss in detail about all the other types. Now there are three types of sentences. The first one is affirmative sentence, and these sentences will not have no or not, and they will always end with a full stop. For example, Priya works in Gujarat Gas. You are very intelligent. I am having lunch. He was working on this project yesterday. He has been working since 9 a.m. You play cricket very well. We had reached Delhi safely. The second type is negative sentence. These sentences will have no or not, and they will end with a full stop. For example, Priya is not working these days. You were not present in the class yesterday. There are no students in the class now. Kamal doesn't have a car. I could not complete your work yesterday. She didn't bring my book that day. There was no water in the lake. We have no light in our house today. And the third type is interrogative sentence. These sentences ask a question and they may or may not have no or not, and they will always end with a question mark. For example, why is Priya not working these days? Why were you not present in the class yesterday? Is Ram present in the office now? Have you brought my book? Does she like badminton? Why is there no water in the jug? When did he reach Surat? Did Rita not come to your house yesterday? So there are different types of verbs. Main verbs, helping verbs. Main verbs, for example, eat, drink, sleep, read, think, drive, write, produce. Main verb can be action words or they can also be non-action words. And helping verbs are also of two types. The first category is auxiliary verbs and the next one is modal auxiliary, or they are also known as modals. So auxiliary verbs are is, are, am, was, were, do, does, did, has, have, had. And the modals or modals are can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would. Must, ought to, need to, have to can also be used as modals. So the universal formula of a sentence in English is subject plus verb plus object. In order to transform a sentence from positive to negative or to interrogative, you need to keep this formula in your mind. What is the universal formula for making negative sentences? Subject plus helping verb plus not plus main verb plus object. Now this rule can be applied to all the sentences which contain a helping verb and a main verb, and you are supposed to place the word not in between the helping verb and the main verb. For example, Priya is working these days. So is the helping verb here and working is the main verb here. So you will add not between is and working. So the negative of the same sentence is Priya is not working these days. Now the universal formula for making negative sentences for all the sentences which do not contain a helping verb is subject plus do or does or did. It depends upon the nature of the main verb. And then not, then the main verb and then object. So add do, does or did plus not before the main verb. For example, Priya works in a bank these days. So works here is a simple present tense, and in order to convert a sentence of simple present tense from positive to negative, you can either use do or does depending upon the subject. So here the subject Priya is singular, so you will use does. So the negative of this sentence is Priya does not work in a bank these days. You play football very well. You here is taken as the plural subject, so you will use do not with play. I do not like Indian music. Now the last example is they went to attend the meeting on Sunday. Now it is of simple past tense. So you will be using did here, irrespective of the subject. They did not go to attend the meeting on Sunday. So this is how you will convert a positive sentence into negative sentence if it does not contain any helping verb. Now, what is the universal formula for making interrogative sentences? It can be of two types. The first type is, it can either begin with a helping verb or it can begin with a WH word, like we have already discussed in the previous lecture. So, the first example is, you were not absent from the class. It can either be written in, were you not absent from the class. You can also see that the word not is added after the subject here in every case. So if you are supposed to convert a sentence from positive to negative in case of interrogative sentences, you will simply add not after the subject. It can also be written as, when were you not absent from the class? And the same goes with other sentences. Now, what is the universal formula for making interrogative sentences? The sentences which do not contain a helping verb. So, the same rule will be followed. She works in Gujarat Gas. This sentence belongs to simple present tense. So, you will begin it with do or does depending upon the subject. Does she work in Gujarat Gas? And the negative of the same would be, does she not work in Gujarat Gas? Or you can also write it as, why does she work in Gujarat Gas? Or why does she not working Gujarat gas. So the same rule will be followed here as well. Now there is one important note related to interrogative sentences. All interrogative sentences always start with either to be, that is, am, are, was, were, or modals, or has, have, had, or do, does, did, or a WH word. What, when, how, where, whose, which. Whether the interrogative sentence will start with a WH word or a helping verb, it is always decided by the desired answer. The second important note to be kept in mind is all interrogative sentences which start with a helping verb are known as close-ended questions. Such questions usually have yes or no as answer. Such questions are asked for confirmation only. Or open-ended questions. All interrogative sentences which start with WH word are called open-ended questions since they need complete answer. So such questions are usually asked to get further information. Now if you get any imperative sentence which is also known as a command, how will you convert it into a negative sentence? For example, bring a glass of water. So you will simply add don't in front of the sentence in order to make it negative. So the answer would be don't bring a glass of water. This is all about transformation of sentences. If you face any difficulty related to this, you can simply send your queries at app and I will soon be sharing one assignment with all of you. Thank you.